You aren't sad, you aren't happy, you are just existing. You wake up tired, you haven't run a marathon, you haven't fought a war, you just slept for 8 hours yet. You feel heavy, like gravity is pulled up to double strength specifically for you. You pick up your phone, you open TikTok or Instagram, you scroll. You don't laugh, you don't learn, you don't even like what you're seeing, but you scroll for 2 hours. Why? Not because it's fun, but because it kills time, it fast forwards your life so you don't have to participate in it. You have a sink full of dishes. You could wash them in 5 minutes. Logically, you know this, but standing up to do, it feels like climbing Everest without oxygen. You stare at the mess, and you feel nothing, just a dull, gray hum in the back of your skull. So you go back to bed. You tell yourself you're lazy. You tell yourself you're undisciplined. You tell yourself you're a failure. Stop lying to yourself. You are not lazy. You are not broken. And you are not depressed in the way you think you are. You are suffering from a biological short circuit. Your system has detected a threat, and it has pulled the plug on your consciousness to keep you safe. By the end of this video, you are going to understand why you feel dead inside. And then, I am going to show you how to hotwire the engine and come back to life. Society has a script for you. When you stop being productive, they call it a moral failure. They look at your stillness, and they call it laziness. They look at your empty stare and call it burnout. They try to sell you a new planner. They tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. They tell you to drink more caffeine, take more cold showers, and get after it. They are wrong. They are trying to fix a software bug with a hammer. What you are experiencing is not a lack of discipline. It is a clinical state called emotional blunting. In simple terms, it is psychological anesthesia. Think about a surgeon. Before they cut you open, they knock you out. Why? Because if you were awake for the surgery, the pain would kill you. Your brain is doing the exact same thing right now. It has decided that your life, your reality, is too painful or too exhausting to process. So, it hit the mute button. If you are in this state, you have 3 specific symptoms. I want you to be honest with yourself right now. Symptom 1. Sensory muting. The world feels like it's rendered in 480p resolution. Food tastes like cardboard. Music is just noise. You used to love that one band, now you skip the track. You used to love pizza. Now it's just calories. It's like there is a thick pane of dirty glass between you and the rest of the world. You can see life happening, but you can't touch it. Symptom 2. The freeze. This is the big one. This is why your room is a mess. It is not that you won't clean it. It is that you can't. Your executive function, the CEO of your brain, walked out of the building. You stare at an email you need to reply to. It requires 3 sentences, but you physically cannot make your fingers type the words. You aren't resting. You are frozen. Symptom 3. Robot mode. If I walked into your room right now and told you that you won $10 million, you wouldn't jump up and scream. You'd probably just shrug. If I told you your house was on fire, you might just slowly walk out. You don't cry. You don't laugh. You have become an observer of your own life. Look at this. This is your nervous system. Most people think stress is fight or flight. That's the red zone. That's anxiety. That's anger. You aren't there. You are below that. You are in the basement. This is the freeze state. This is what an animal does when a predator has its jaws around its neck. It plays dead. It shuts down all non-essential systems to minimize pain before the end. You aren't lazy. You are playing dead because your body thinks you are being hunted. So, why? Why does a healthy young human being shut down like a faulty laptop? It is an evolutionary trap. Somewhere along the line, you learned a very dangerous lesson. We call it learned helplessness. Imagine a dog in a cage. If you shock the floor, the dog jumps. It barks. It tries to escape. That is fight or flight. But if the cage is locked, if the shocks keep coming no matter what the dog does, eventually the dog stops jumping. It lies down. It whines. It takes the shock. Even if you open the cage door later, the dog won't leave. It has learned that effort is pointless. This is you. You spent years trying too hard. You cared too much. You redlined your engine for grades, for a career, for your parents' approval, for a relationship that was doomed. You screamed at the world, see me, love me, validate me, And the world didn't answer, or it hurt you. Your lizard brain, the ancient part of you that only cares about survival. Look at the data, it said. We are spending too much energy fighting a war we cannot win. If we keep carrying this much, we will die of exhaustion. So, it flipped the breaker. It initiated power save mode. It cut power to your emotions to save energy. It's not trying to hurt you. It is trying to keep you alive during a perceived winter. But here is the tragedy. You aren't in a cage. There is no guy with a shock button. You aren't surviving a famine or a tiger attack. You are surviving the corporate ladder. You are surviving the algorithm. You are surviving the endless, toxic comparison loops of Instagram and LinkedIn. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a tiger and a credit card bill. It cannot tell the difference between starvation and the fear of being average. So when the pressure gets too high and you feel like you have no control, your brain decides the safest thing to do is to become a zombie. You numb yourself to survive the modern world. You scroll to dissociate. You sleep to fast forward. You have built a wall of ice around your heart because you believe that feeling things is dangerous. Now you know the diagnosis. You are in the freeze response. You are in power save mode. So how do you wake up? Do not try to think your way out of this. You cannot logic your way out of a physiological response. You cannot hustle your way out of a freeze. If you scream at a frozen computer, it doesn't work. You have to reboot the hardware. Here is the protocol, 3 steps. Do not skip them. Step 1, the hardware reset. Somatic connection. Your mind is a liar right now. Ignore it. Focus on the meat suit. You need to send a signal to your nervous system that you are physically safe and present. Stop thinking. Start sensing. Every day, spend 5 minutes doing something that shocks your senses. I don't mean meditate. I mean visceral sensation. Grab an ice cube and hold it in your hand until it hurts. Walk outside and touch the rough bark of a tree. Smell strong coffee beans. Listen to music that is aggressive and loud. You need to pierce the veil. You need to remind your brain that the physical world exists. These small shocks of sensation are the defibrillator paddles for your soul. They force the system to reboot. Step 2, the data dump. Your amygdala, the fear center, is screaming. But it has no language. It only has feelings. You need to move that energy to your prefrontal cortex, the logic center. How? You label it. Write it down. Not a novel. Just data. I feel empty. I feel bored. I feel heavy. Psychological studies show that the simple act of labeling a negative emotion reduces its activity in the brain. When you name the ghost, it stops haunting you. It just becomes a word on a page. You are taking the error code and debugging it. Step 3, radical acceptance. This is the most important part. Stop hating yourself for being numb. The more you judge yourself for being lazy, the more stress you create. The more stress you create, the deeper your brain retreats into the freeze state. It is a death spiral. Break the loop. Accept the winter. Say to yourself, I am in power save mode. My body is protecting me. I am offline right now, and that is okay. When you stop fighting the quicksand, you stop sinking. When you give yourself permission to be numb, ironically, the numbness starts to fade. You create safety, and when your brain feels safe, it will turn the power back on. You are not a broken machine. You are a warrior resting in the trenches. The numbness served a purpose. It kept you safe when the pain was too high. It shielded you when the world was too loud. But the war is over. The tiger is gone. It is safe to come back online. It will hurt at first. When the blood starts flowing back into a frozen limb, it stings. When your emotions come back, you will feel sadness. You will feel anger. You might cry for no reason. Good. Cry, scream, feel the heaviness. Because that pain is evidence that the system is working. To feel pain is to be alive. To feel nothing is to be dead before you die. Choose the pain. Choose the mess. Choose the chaos of being human. It is better to hurt than to be a ghost. Call to action. If you are ready to wake up, if you are done being a spectator in your own life, drop the words, I am alive, in the comments. Don't just watch the next video. Put the phone down, go outside, touch grass, feel the wind. Welcome back to the real world.